What if your legs, not your heart or memory, are the first real clue to early aging? Most people focus on brain health or diet, but weak legs could be silently predicting how long you'll live. If stairs feel harder, or you get up slower from chairs, don't ignore it. One overlooked fix could turn things around, and science backs it. Stick around, especially for tip number 2, because our legs do more than carry us. They ground us. They help us balance, move through the world, and stand with dignity. When our legs weaken, our independence weakens. Our confidence weakens. Even our brain begins to respond to that loss of movement with fatigue, fog, and disorientation. The body and mind are not separate. They walk hand in hand, and when the legs grow still, the mind often follows. Dr. Shigeki Hinohara, who lived past 100 and saw thousands of patients over decades, used to say, "Movement is life." He believed that the moment we stop moving freely is the moment we start aging rapidly. He urged people not to retire from walking, not to give in to the softness of convenience. He himself avoided elevators, choosing instead to climb stairs, earning every step, every breath, every day. More recently, Dr. Peter Attia, a physician who studies aging and longevity, calls leg strength a vital sign. He says it's more important than your cholesterol level, more revealing than your blood pressure, because it doesn't just show how you are today, it shows what might happen tomorrow. He's right. When the legs begin to fade, the body follows. The risks grow quietly: falls, fractures, hospital stays, the slow shift from independence to dependence. So let's ask a different kind of question today. Not, "How's your heart?" or "How's your sugar?" but this: can you rise from a chair without help? Can you climb one flight of stairs without stopping? Can you walk outside and feel the earth beneath your feet with confidence? If your legs weaken first, what else follows silently? And more importantly, what can be done before that silence becomes something louder, something harder to reverse? This is not a message of fear. It is a message of awakening, because you are still here, and your legs, though they may tremble, still carry you. They still respond when you call on them. There is still strength in you. And in this video, we'll explore why your legs matter more than you think, and what simple, natural, and powerful habits can help you preserve that strength for your freedom, your balance, your life. There's something humbling about the act of standing up. We do it so often in youth that we forget it's a skill, until the day our own body pauses before rising. The hesitation is small at first. You might laugh it off or lean on the armrest without thinking. But that moment, that quiet resistance in your legs, carries more weight than most people imagine. Doctors have started paying closer attention to this simple movement because it speaks volumes. There's even a test for it. You sit in a chair with your arms crossed over your chest. Then, without using your hands or momentum, you try to rise to your feet and sit back down. Not once, but several times. It's called the sit-to-stand test, and it measures not just your leg strength, but your balance, endurance, and overall vitality. Geriatric specialists have used it for years, not because it's complicated, but because it's honest. The chair doesn't lie. This isn't about having sculpted muscles or going to the gym. It's about whether your legs can still lift your body with grace and control. That strength isn't just in the thighs. It's connected to your core, your coordination, and even your blood flow to the brain. It's about metabolism, balance, and memory. Studies show that people who struggle with this test are more likely to suffer falls, slower recovery, and loss of independence later in life. But here's what many don't realize. This change doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly, over time. Muscles grow silent when they aren't called upon, and by the time we notice, it's often because something harder to reverse has begun to take root. Still, there's hope in awareness. One way to glimpse your current state is by counting how many chair stands you can perform in 30 seconds. If it's fewer than 12, that may suggest your body is losing strength faster than it should. It's not a judgment, it's a signal. And signals, when listened to early, can change the course of a life. Some people say, "But I'm fine. I just avoid stairs. I sit more these days." But avoiding what challenges you slowly teaches the body to forget what it once did with ease. The legs are like old friends. You must keep visiting them, or the connection fades. And once faded, it's much harder to restore. As someone once said, if you can't lift your own body today, who will carry you tomorrow? So the next time you rise from your chair, notice. Don't rush. Don't hide from what your body is telling you. That single act, standing on your own, might be one of the greatest indicators of your health, your future, and your freedom. There's a quiet routine that repeats itself in many homes each morning. A hand reaches for the nightstand. Slippers slide on. The hallway leads straight to the kitchen where the kettle hums or the coffee brews. Then, often without a single bend, stretch, or step that challenges the body, another chair welcomes the weight of a waking body. It seems harmless, peaceful even. But that gentle stillness, day after day, can slowly unravel the very muscles that keep us standing. In the first hour after waking, the body opens itself to direction. Blood flow is waiting to be stirred. Muscles are ready to be activated. Joints crave gentle motion. But what do they often receive? Stillness, a soft seat, a long pause before the day truly begins. For younger bodies, this delay costs little. But after 60, 70, or 80 years, that first hour matters. It sets the tone for the next 12. And when we spend it without movement, our legs take note and begin to forget their strength. In places like Ikaria, an island where people live well into their 90s and beyond, the first hour of the day looks very different. There are no treadmills or protein shakes, just the earth, the hills, the morning chores. Elders tend to their gardens. They sweep, gather herbs, walk uneven paths. Their legs are called into service while the sun is still soft. And it's not just tradition, it's medicine. Natural, unconscious, woven into the fabric of life. This doesn't mean one must mimic island life to stay strong, but there's wisdom in small, consistent gestures. 2 minutes. That's enough to begin. Not as a workout, but as a greeting to your legs. Standing barefoot and slowly raising your heels at the sink. Leaning into a wall for gentle support and holding a half squat. Marching lightly in place before the first cup of tea. These movements are not loud, but they speak clearly to the body. We are awake, we are still here, we are moving. Because when the legs are not invited to rise with you, they slowly stop showing up. When mornings become a pattern of softness, the body forgets the rhythm of resilience. But it's never too late to remind it. There is still circulation to awaken, still strength to be summoned, still days to be walked with purpose. If your legs don't wake up with you, your body stays asleep all day. And with it, your energy, your balance, and your will to explore the world outside your doorstep. The first hour is not about intensity, it's about intention. About remembering that your body, even in its quietest seasons, still listens and still wants to move. There's a strange thing that happens with aging. The number on the scale might stay the same. The body might look similar in the mirror. But underneath, a quiet transformation begins, one that too often goes unnoticed. The muscles in your legs, once firm and alive with movement, begin to shrink, and in their place, something heavier and quieter settles in. Fat, hidden deep within the muscle fibers, where it doesn't belong. This process isn't just about shape or size. It's about what holds you upright, what steadies you as you climb a stair, what keeps you from falling when the ground shifts beneath you. When muscle turns to fat inside the legs, it becomes harder to walk, harder to balance, harder to feel strong in your own body. Doctors call this process marbling, much like the streaks of fat in a piece of meat. And while it might not be visible from the outside, it changes everything on the inside. It isn't just a matter of weight, it's a matter of function. This hidden fat weakens the connection between brain and muscle. It interferes with blood sugar control, making insulin less effective. It slows down your body's ability to respond, react, and protect itself. And with time, that quiet trade between muscle and fat leads to frailty, fatigue, and fear. The kind of fear that makes people avoid stairs, or stop going out, or start doubting their own strength. Yet not every culture allows this quiet exchange to go unnoticed. In Thailand, it's still common to see elders squatting daily, to tend a fire, prepare food, or rest. This simple act, performed without fanfare, keeps the glutes and thighs strong well into old age. It's not a workout. It's a way of living, a relationship with the body that doesn't retire at 60 or 70 or even 80. There are small, powerful ways to remind the legs that they're still needed. While sitting, A rolled towel or light resistance band can invite the muscles to wake up again. A gentle pull, a slow press, a short hold. These signals speak directly to muscles that have been forgotten. Muscles that may not be gone, just sleeping, waiting, hoping for a reason to return. Because what weakens us most isn't always visible. It's not the weight on the scale or the size of our waist. It's the loss of quiet strength beneath the surface. The surrender of muscle we didn't even know we were losing. You may not see it in the mirror, but weakness hides under your skin. And once you begin to sense it, not fearfully, but with honesty, you can begin to turn that tide, gently, consistently, and with dignity. There's a quiet ritual around the table in many homes. A slice of toast, a soft banana, a small cup of yogurt, sweetened and easy to swallow. The foods are comforting, familiar, and gentle on the teeth. But somewhere between convenience and tradition, something important has been left behind, the nourishment that keeps muscles alive. After the age of 60, the body changes how it responds to food. What once was enough to build and maintain strength now slips through the system, barely absorbed. Muscles, especially in the legs, need a certain amount of high-quality protein just to stay where they are, let alone grow. But most meals among older adults fall far short of that. A bit of bread, a spoonful of fruit, or a glass of milk may ease the hunger, but they don't tell the muscles to stay strong. The science is quiet, but clear. Without 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal, the muscles in your legs begin to weaken. Even if you're eating regularly, the body becomes like a house with no beams, still standing, but more fragile with every passing season. And the problem doesn't stop with protein. Two silent allies, vitamin D and magnesium, also begin to fade in the diets of many seniors. And when they disappear, cramps come. Balance suffers. The legs begin to feel like strangers beneath you. But strength can return to the plate, not through exotic powders or expensive supplements, but through real food that nourishes like it used to. A bowl of lentils with olive oil, a pair of boiled eggs with a handful of greens, a spoon of fermented tofu, a piece of fish even canned with herbs from the windowsill. These meals carry more than nutrients. They carry memories of how food once healed, once gave life, once made people sit up straighter after eating. The legs listen to what you eat. They respond not to fullness but to fuel. They hear the message in every bite: rise or rest, fight or surrender. They don't need perfection, they need intention and consistency and care. Because what you put on your plate tells your legs whether to fight or surrender, whether to stand strong when called upon, or quietly slip away when no one is watching. The choice is never about diet, it's about dignity. And it begins, each day, with what we choose to feed our strength. The strength in your legs writes the future of your freedom. There are moments in life when the body speaks before the mind can explain. A soft stumble in the kitchen, a longer pause before rising from the couch, a slow, unspoken fear of stairs. And then the question begins to form quietly in the background of a day: am I starting to lose something? For many, the answer arrives not with a diagnosis but with silence. Not illness but absence, of strength, of ease, of motion once taken for granted. But leg weakness is not just a symptom. It's often the first sign that something deeper is shifting. A message the body whispers before it shouts. A signal that the roots are loosening beneath us, even if we still feel steady on the surface. Yet this is not a message of fear. It is a message of timing. Because weakness, once noticed, can be met. Not erased perhaps, but softened, strengthened, reinforced with daily choices that speak the language of movement. The truth is, the legs are more than limbs. They are your foundation, your freedom, your permission to live independently in a world that does not always wait. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara knew this well. He lived more than a century, cared for thousands of patients, and taught that aging was not the enemy, stagnation was. He refused to use elevators, not for pride, but for purpose. Each stair was a small declaration that life had not closed its door on him. Every step became a vote for his own vitality. He understood what many forget, that the act of moving forward is not just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, and deeply human. In his eyes, a strong leg was not a muscle, it was a symbol of freedom, of intention, of participation in one's own life. And when that strength fades, even slightly, the consequences ripple outward. Fewer walks, less sunshine, a shrinking world, one hallway at a time, until what used to be simple, shopping for groceries, standing to cook, tending to the garden, becomes a negotiation or a memory. Dr. Peter Attia, who dedicates his life to understanding the science of aging, calls leg strength a vital sign, not a fitness goal, not a luxury, but an essential indicator of how well we are likely to live as the years go on. He points to studies that show those who maintain leg strength in their 60s and 70s are not just avoiding falls, they are preserving cognitive function, reducing inflammation, delaying the onset of chronic conditions that otherwise arrive too soon, too fast, and all at once. It is easy to look at the present moment and think, I've slowed down, but I'm still okay. But the body doesn't change in leaps. It changes in inches. A little less balance, a little more hesitation. Until one day, the question is no longer whether you can go out for a walk, but whether you feel safe walking across the room. Still, within that sobering reality lies something powerful. Possibility. Because strength does not have an expiration date. What the body forgets through stillness, it can remember through intention. The legs do not demand perfection. They respond to attention, to motion, to nourishment and care, and the gentle insistence that they are still needed. Still part of the story. Still capable of holding you up. There is no need for marathons or heavy lifting. No need for grand gestures or loud declarations. What matters most is consistency, the quiet ritual of standing on your own, the willingness to keep choosing movement when rest feels easier, the courage to keep asking your body to show up even when it trembles. The habits that build strength are often invisible to others. They live in the moments between tasks. Rising from your chair instead of staying seated a little longer. Walking to the mailbox even when it's cold. Preparing your own food not only for nutrition, but to keep your hands and legs involved in the rhythm of life. These are not small things. They are the fabric of autonomy. And perhaps most importantly, strength is not just about the physical. It is about the feeling of being able, of reaching for something on a shelf without fear, of walking without watching every crack in the pavement, of standing in front of the mirror and knowing, I may not be as fast as I once was, but I am still steady, still capable, still here. There is a quiet kind of dignity in moving through life on your own terms. And your legs, those faithful companions that have carried you for decades, are a part of that dignity. They are not past their time. They are not too far gone. They are waiting, listening, ready to respond if you speak their language again. Because the strength in your legs writes the future of your freedom, and the pen is still in your hands.